Hi everyone, my name is Chloe and this is the start of my Kindle Unlimited Readathon vlog. So this morning I got up about 5:45 and started my first book, which is One Pink Line by Dinah Silver. If you watched my TBR, I was a little bit off in describing this book. It's about two different storylines of two women. One is in college and finds herself unexpectedly pregnant, and then the other one is a 12-year-old girl and she's finding out that her dad is not her biological dad. So it's both of them trying to navigate that, figure out what they're going to do, who's who, and all of that. And I'm really enjoying it. I think that the storylines are great. They're very intriguing, and I'm just really enjoying that one. So that's what I'm reading for now. I'm almost done with it. I'm hoping to finish it by 9 or 10. It's about 8:30 almost, and my daughter's still asleep. So she's going to wake up, we'll do breakfast, and then hopefully I can get back to reading. So I will check in later when I have finished that and let you know what I thought and what my next book is.
Hey guys, so it's later in the morning and I just finished One Pink Line by Dinah Silver, and it is Dina, not Dinah, so I've been saying her name wrong and I apologize for that, but this book was so good. I'm going to rate it 5 stars because it was just, I can't think of anything wrong with it. It was so good, and it was her debut novel, which just shocks me. I think that she's got 4 or 5 more now, and I just can't wait to read them because I just love this book. And I don't know, part of it is probably because I love pregnancy, motherhood stories. The other part is this book was just so relatable to me. The one girl that's in college, her name is Sydney. She has a long distance relationship with somebody in a different college, and that was also my story. I felt terrible for Ethan the whole time. The way she treated him was just terrible, and he was just such a good, wonderful guy, and I loved him. I loved Ethan. And then Grace, she is the other perspective. She's the young girl who finds out that her dad is not her biological dad. And I, too, was raised by a man who is not my biological dad, but he's been there since I was a baby, and he's just the most amazing man, father, anything you could ask for. And so that this book was just so relatable that I felt like at parts of it, like she was writing my story. And so to find a book like that is so rare and hard, and I just loved it. So I don't know if it was her writing or just the subject matter or what, but I loved this book. I also loved the relationship between Sydney and her sister, between Grace and her mother, between Ethan and Sydney. There were so many good relationships, so much good stuff. I read it in just a couple hours, which for me is crazy, and like I just couldn't put it down. It was so good, so I would highly recommend that. Now I am starting Roman Crazy. This is the one I was talking about by Alice Clayton and Nina BOCCI. And as you can see, I'm reading it physically right now while we're home, but we're going to go to lunch here in a little bit, so then I will probably read on my Kindle on the way there, and while we're out and about, we're going to take our tree to the dump, so that's sad. We are de-Christmasing our house. I think we're going to leave these lights up around the house, though, until we move. Loved One Pink Line. Highly recommend it. Just started Roman Crazy. I'm 2 chapters and 16 pages in, so I can't tell you much about that, but I'm hoping to finish 2 books today, and if I can keep doing that every day, that would get my 6 books done, which I don't understand how that would ever happen, but I'm really hoping. So I'm so excited about this readathon, loving it, and here's to finishing Roman Crazy today. I'll check in later. Bye.
Hey guys, so this lighting is terrible. I'm sorry. It's late, and I just finished Roman Crazy by Alice Clayton and Nina BOCCI, and I thought it was a 3-star. It was good. Like, I liked the Italian scenery, and it's a second chance romance, and you guys know I love that. So I like those elements, but our main character, Avery, prides herself on being this independent woman, feminist, just like she's just doing her thing. And she married a guy who and then quit working. And so she was just a housewife, and they were a high society country club type, and her job was to be his wife. And so now she's gallivanting around Europe, and it's all on his credit card, which she talks about multiple times. And that's fine. Like, I mean, I think that what she did for work was probably a job. I mean, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so I know earning an income is not your only way of having value, but she was like treating people to things and saying she was just like, especially Marcello, the man, Marcello, I'm not sure how you say it, but she was treating him to things and saying like all these feminist statements about how women can pay and blah, 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 blah. But it was all her husband's money. So does that actually count? And it just was really annoying to me, like how she was very independent and feminist, but not. And I just felt like we kind of got hit over the head with that. And I also thought the romance was just too much for me. Like they couldn't even get from like A to B without tearing each other's clothes off and being, it was too much. I did not enjoy it at all. And so those parts dragged it down to about a 3 for me. Again, it was cute, read it pretty quick, kept my interest the whole time. It just, those two things are really like off-putting. So that one I gave 3 stars. Wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but the Italian scenery and that vibe was really good. So now I'm not sure. I am not feeling good at all tonight. So I think I'm getting some of what my daughter has or something, and nausea and blah, 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 blah. So it just never ends. But I don't know if I'll start something else. 2 books in a day. I don't know that I've ever done that. So that's really awesome. And I might just leave it at that and watch some booktube and go to bed. But if I start something else, I will let you know. Regardless, I'll check in next time I have an update. Hey guys, well, I have 0 lighting today because it is a stormy, rainy day outside. So this is what we're working with. But today is Saturday, December 28th, and I have finished my 3rd book for the Kindle Unlimited Readathon. It was More Than You Know by Nan Rossiter. And this is the one that I was talking about that's about 3 sisters who go back to their home, their family home when their mom dies. And all 3 girls were, I guess, pretty close growing up, but then they kind of went their own ways and have their own stories. And then, so now they're coming back together and catching up with each other, as well as they are going through their mom's house, and they find that she had started writing a memoir, and there was a lot about their mom that they didn't know. So this book was really interesting and good. I really liked the characters and seeing all the sisters and their stories, and they were all very unique, and so very easy to distinguish who was who, and it was very interesting. Their mom dies of Alzheimer's and complications of that, and that is something that has affected our family, and so it's interesting seeing how each of the girls reacted differently to the Alzheimer's, and just how they either came close or withdrew because of the diagnosis and the illness that their mother suffered from. So the oldest sister is Isaac, and she has her own family, and they are now empty nesters, and her and her husband both have, her husband's a doctor and she's some sort of businesswoman, so they have always been focused on either their careers or their kids, and so now they're empty nesters and don't know what to do with themselves, and so that's her story. Rumor is the middle daughter, and she and her husband have 1 kid who's a teenager, I think, and they have a really rough financial situation going on, so that's her story. And then Burl is the youngest sister, and she kind of gave up her life to take care of their mom. She moved back and became the primary caretaker for their mom, so that's her story. My complaint, I gave this book 3.5 stars, and the reason is I really loved the sibling relationships. I loved hearing about their mom. I loved the love stories. I really was entertained throughout, but I wish we would have gotten more about the sisters, because like we don't know anything about, I mean, what I just told you was all we know about their personal lives. We don't know why they had that rough financial situation for Rumor and her husband. We don't know what was the time like with Burl. And it kind of seems like in the book it jumps from the diagnosis to their mother's death, and we don't know anything about the time in between. And most of the book is focused on them going through their mom's memoir. And that was interesting for sure, because they found out a lot about their mom that they didn't know, but the majority of that was a love story that they didn't know about. And that was interesting, but it also took up the whole book, and I wish we would have known a little bit more about the sisters. So that was that. Like I said, 3.5 stars. Now today, I am feeling really rough. So I think I've got the bronchitis. There's also a stomach bug going around, and I don't know if I have that or if it's just pregnancy or what. So it's about 10:45 in the morning, and I think I am going to try to lay back down this morning. I made some almond butter, made some oatmeal and all that kind of stuff, and then took down Christmas stuff. And my husband is still out there working on that because we decorate a lot for Christmas, so that means there's a lot to take down. So I don't know if I've just kind of gone too hard this morning or what, but I kind of feel like laying in bed and just watching a show and passing out for a little bit, but I may pick up another book. So regardless, I will come back on when I have more to update, and hope your readathon is going great. Bye. Hi guys, I'm just coming back on for a quick update. I just finished my 4th book of the readathon. It's Saturday evening about 7 o'clock, and I just finished 800 Grapes by Laura Dave. And I really like this book. It's going to be a 3.5 stars. It's about a girl who is at her final wedding dress fitting, and she sees her fiance and finds out a secret about him. So she decides to go, just hops in her car and drives to 9 hours north in California to go back to her family home in the Sonoma Valley. So she goes up there wanting to see her parents and her brothers and just get the comfort of home. And when she gets there, she realizes things are not quite as she expected. So while she's there, she's just trying to figure out what she really wants and how to help her family and just how to navigate all of that. So I really liked it. I really liked the setting. It just really gave you the homey, like this was a family home and a family business that her dad had been running for like 50 years. And it's where all the kids grew up and all of that. So that was really fun. I thought she really did a good job capturing the sibling relationship. Like it's kind of a love-hate thing, and I thought she did a really good job. The character is Georgia, and she has 2 older brothers, and I thought she did a good job with that. I also just really liked all of the characters and the story, and I thought it was interesting. My only complaints are that, first of all, I wish we would have got a little more of the mom, because some of her actions and motivations didn't really make sense, and it was just kind of quickly told, not shown. So I wish we would have got a little more of that. I also thought it was just pretty, like, I don't know that I'll remember this for a long time. The setting was good, the characters were good, but nothing exceptional. So 3.5 stars, pretty good read, pretty quick read. And that's the 4th one done. So I think the next one I'm going to pick up is Finding Emma. And we'll see. That might be my last one of the readathon. Or I may get all 6 done, which would just stun me. So that's that. We'll talk to you later. Hey guys, I'm just coming in for a quick check-in. I just finished my 5th book of the readathon. It was Finding Emma by Stina Holmes. And I'm going to set this down and I'll just put a picture up because it's easier that way. I thought it was okay. It was a 3-star book in my opinion. It was about a girl who was, it was about a family who their 3-year-old daughter was taken. The mom fell asleep one day when all the girls were playing, and the 3-year-old had a tendency to wander, and so she left the house and was kidnapped. And so then the book flash forwards 2 years later, and the mom is just obsessed with finding her, and she thinks she sees her everywhere, and she has set up like a program to walk kids home from, like where an adult walks kids home from school, and like physically she is a very helicopter mom to protect her 2 remaining daughters. But emotionally she's just checked out because she's constantly looking for Emma, her missing daughter. So one of her older daughters kind of takes on the caretaker role. The other one kind of takes on the rebel role. Her marriage is deteriorating. She thinks her husband's cheating. Like, there's just all sorts of bad things going on because she can't let go the loss of her daughter, which I totally understand. Like, I can't imagine having a kidnapped daughter and not knowing what's happened to her, if she's okay, where she is. So part of me was like, what would I do in that situation? But
Anyway, concurrently, there's a storyline going on with a set of grandparents and their granddaughter, Emmy. Emmy is now 5 years old, and Emma, I'll lead you to draw your own conclusions, but they live in a farm town, like on a farm right outside of this town, and the grandma Dottie is very, very, very protective. She doesn't even want Emmy going like with the grandpa to have coffee with his old man friends. And she has the beginning of Alzheimer's and like continues to have strokes, and you just like she was very, very underdeveloped. I have no idea. Like there was a lot started that was never really explained, so we didn't really know. And then the ending of this book I felt like was super rushed, and really my whole problem with this book, I feel like they just tried to do too much in too little pages. And they brought up the potential affair, they brought up behavioral issues with the other girls, they brought up Dottie's health issues, they brought up all of these things, but none of it was ever really explored. So I feel like we just didn't know that much, and I didn't have like any emotional connection to the family. And I think that's because we just got a very small snippet before Emma was taken. I wish we would have gotten a little more time to like connect with the family, because I just didn't feel emotional or connected at all to like any of the characters. So overall, 3 stars. It was entertaining, it was quick, and that's about it. So I cannot believe I have read 5 books in 2.5 days. So now, based on my TBR, if you saw it, the only one left is All She Ever Wanted by Lynn Austen. But I have found a couple more on my shelves that are also on Kindle Unlimited. So let me show those to you really quick. In 20 Years by Alison Wynne Scotch. I really like this author, and so I might pick this one up. I also found Nothing But Trouble by Sue May Warren, and I don't really know anything about this one, but I know it's the start of a series, and this is the only one I have on my shelf, so I might pick it up to see if it's worth continuing in the series. And then also Fraternize by Rachel Van Dyken, which I know is also the beginning of a series. And this one I got from Nicole from the Girly Girl Bookworm. And I think she liked it maybe, but just kind of is over it and didn't want it on her shelves anymore. So I could be wrong in saying that, but I got this one from her and I'm interested in reading it. So I may pick up one of those 3 instead, just because I kind of in the mood for something different besides that All She Ever Wanted. So I think I can maybe get one more book done today. So that would be 6, which just blows my mind. I have never read 6 books in a weekend. So this is so awesome. So again, thank you to all the hosts for doing this. This is my first readathon ever, and I'm having so much fun and I feel so accomplished. And I just have been laying on my floor. I don't know if you can tell that's what I'm doing. I'm laying on my floor in my office going through all of my books because, like I said, we're moving on next month, and so I've got a big unhaul stack here. So I'm going to film an unhaul video after this weekend readathon is over. So stay tuned for that, and that's all I have for now. I'll check in later. Bye. Hey guys, so it's about 7:15 on Sunday night, Sunday, December 29th, and I just finished my 6th book for the Kindle Unlimited Readathon. So I just finished Nothing But Trouble by Susan May Warren. And this one I went into completely blind. I think I mentioned it in the last clip, and I didn't even know what it was about at all. And so I was really surprised. It is a Christian cozy mystery. And I don't know, honestly, when I got this book or how I got it on my shelves, but here it is. So I read it, and I ended up giving it 2.5 stars. I did not really like it. Partially, I think, because I was not in the mood for Christian or cozy mystery. So, I mean, it could be that. It's got pretty high ratings on Goodreads, but not very many ratings. So, I don't know. This one it's a series about a girl named PJ Sugar, and she goes back to her hometown because her sister is going on her honeymoon and she needs somebody to take care of her 4-year-old son. So she goes, and of course, the little boy is starting his first day at a prestigious preschool, and there's a bunch of hijinks that go on with that. And also, there's one of their high school teachers is found dead. And so, one of her best friends, her old best friend, like her best friend from high school, her husband is accused of killing him. And PJ just doesn't think that is true. So she takes it upon herself to solve the crime and see who actually killed him. And the reason I didn't really like this is just because I think the situations were really far-fetched, and cozy mysteries sometimes are a little far-fetched. But this one just, like, the whole premise, the mom was described as being this, like, uber mom who does all this stuff and has all these people to help, and also is just so into her kid, like very kind of helicoptery mom. And so, what are the chances that she would be gone for the first day of school? Like, supposedly this kid's been on a waiting list for years to get into this preschool, and he's 4 years old. And so, why would the mom leave? I don't know. And then she married a Russian guy. The mom did, or the kid's mom did, and his parents are staying with PJ and the boy at the house, but they only speak Russian. And so that I thought was just like kind of unnecessary. I guess it was supposed to be funny. Meh. And the whodunit was not interesting to me. And overall, this just wasn't that great of a book. So, that's 6 books down, though. I honestly, if you saw at the beginning of this video, this vlog, or my TBR, I had no idea that 6 books were possible in a weekend. So I'm so proud of myself. It is only 7:15, so I may start one more, but I definitely won't finish it tonight. And what I've noticed, what I've learned about this Kindle Unlimited Readathon is I have not watched any BookTube in the past 3 days. So it shows me how much time I spend on BookTube, but also it's just going to be a strange balance because I really like going through my books like this and getting through things quickly, but I miss watching BookTube. So I'm interested to hear, how does everybody else balance that? Do you just watch a few people on BookTube, or do you watch certain times of the day or only on certain days? Like, how do you manage balancing watching BookTube and reading? Because I'm just interested to see how to do this, because typically I get up in the morning and work out, and while I'm working out I watch BookTube, and then normally when I go to bed at night I will watch BookTube for about a half hour before I go to sleep. So that time, that's like at least an hour and a half in the day that I'm watching BookTube instead of reading. And just that hour and a half or so has made a huge difference. And also, I have learned that I don't use my Kindle nearly enough, because having it on the Kindle and then having access on your phone, I could read so much more than I normally do. So those are both good takeaways for me to have, and things that I want to think about as I'm trying to take down this massive TBR over here, is just maybe try to get things on Kindle. I know the library has a ton of ebooks and things available, as does Hoopla, and all sorts of things. So that's an option. Today, just a little update on life and the day. Today has been a great day. I'm feeling a lot better. Last night I did not sleep good just because I kept coughing and whatever, but woke up with like a weird amount of energy. So I did a bunch of cleaning around the house and that kind of stuff and organizing. And then we sat down, and guys, we watched so many NSYNC videos on YouTube, actually. So I guess I did watch some YouTube, but like the original music videos, and it was so nostalgic for me. I was a kid who, and I say kid like tween, I guess, that had Justin Timberlake literally wallpapered on my wall. That's kind of embarrassing, but I did. I had a wall that was pretty much all Justin Timberlake posters and pictures. I was obsessed. And so this today was just so fun and nostalgic, and my daughter, like, probably TMI, but I made a playlist for when she was born, and NSYNC was all over that. And so it's like, since she's been born, I swear NSYNC and Justin Timberlake calm her down. And like when we're in the grocery store, if he comes on, she stops and dances. And this kid never stands still, but stood still and watched quite a few music videos today. So we did that, and then went to lunch at Olive Garden because we got an Olive Garden gift card and 2 Red Lobster gift cards for Christmas. And we don't have a Red Lobster in our town. So it used to be Olive Garden, Red Lobster, and like Longhorns or something, Steakhouse, were all owned by the same people. So if you got a gift card to one, you could use it at any of those places. We got punked today because that is no longer the case. Apparently, she said 4 years ago, but I don't think that's true. I think it's been less time than that. Red Lobster at least parted ways. So now we have a bunch of Red Lobster gift cards, and the closest one is an hour away. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. But so we went to lunch there and then came home, and for maybe our first or second anniversary, my husband got me an original Super Nintendo. And so we put our daughter down for a nap and played Super Nintendo. And I read a little bit and then got up and watched more NSYNC videos. So we watched the 2001, I think, Super Bowl halftime show that was NSYNC and Aerosmith and Britney Spears and Mary J. Blige and Nelly. Like, if you saw it, you know it blows your mind. If you didn't see it, go look it up right now because it's the best video. So we watched that, and then finally I decided to like be a grown-up and do stuff. So I made dinner and did all that, and we just finished eating, and I finished that book. And so here I am. So as a recap, that was a whole lot of stuff you probably don't care about, but this weekend, 6 books, awesome. Big pat on the back. I'm going to go ahead and do that and maybe start a 7th, but regardless, this weekend has taught me to utilize my Kindle Unlimited, and I think that was the point. I just really love that service, and if you don't have it, I would definitely check into it. It's very worth it. They do deals occasionally that you can get it for cheaper, but I think it's like $9.99 a month. Like 6 books in 3 days. So 6 books, $9 divided by 6 books. I don't know how much that is, but it's cheap. So I would highly recommend it. That's really all I have for this vlog. Like I said, if I start anything else, I'm not going to finish it. So I'll just include it in next week's vlog. So that's all. If you watched this whole video, thank you. If you participated in the Kindle Unlimited Readathon, let me know what was your favorite read, what was a surprising read, anything. I would love to know how your experience was. So again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!